Welcome to Self-Worth Club, the podcast that empowers you to believe in yourself and your work. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, creative, or simply looking to cultivate greater self-worth, Self-Worth Club is for you. Join us each week as we empower you to believe in yourself and unlock your full potential. Hello. I am your host, Zoe, and I am super excited that you decided to come back for episode 4, Navigating the Different Seasons of Life. This one is super important because, everything in life ebbs and flows, and we all go through these different seasons, and I'm hoping that this can help you just stay in tune with what you're feeling and realize when you're going through one of these seasons. And this will give you some little pointers and direction to get through it and thrive through it, grow through it. So I want to start off by saying if you're watching this on YouTube or watching this on Spotify, then you can see I'm not in my usual place. The pups are actually next to me taking a nap, and let me show you. This is Ozzy, and this is Cora, and I just decided, this can be anything I want it to be. I was putting way too much pressure on the podcast, and just like the seasons of life, just like what I'm going to talk to you about today, I went through freaking all 4 seasons in a couple of months of planning this and taking so much crazy action, and then having the first 3 episodes out and feeling like weight lifted off my chest, and then I fell into this hole basically of overthinking, of paralysis by analysis, of imposter syndrome, of all the things. And the past few days I've been saying to myself, like, why are you putting so much pressure on this? You are doing this podcast to give value to people, to give your input and just like facts on what you've learned and tell stories and help people grow. And that's what it's about. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be in the same cute spot every single time. It can be whatever you need it to be, and hopefully it is what you, the audience, needs it to be. So I'm filming from my couch today because that's where we are. That's life. And I'm super grateful to be here in this spot talking to you about navigating the different seasons of life. So just like the seasons in nature, there are also personal seasons of life. And when I was doing research on this, because I always like to read different articles and spark ideas before talking on a topic just to get some outside perspective, it was super interesting that they were talking about before we had all this advanced technology, when we were living without electricity and we were working for our food and just working different jobs, lots of trade, all the things, we were so much more in tune with the seasons of life as it relates to the seasons in nature. And because we have such advanced technology, we've kind of fallen out of that a little bit. And honestly, if you live in North Carolina or anywhere like it seasonally, it can get a bit crazy out here. It'll literally be 70 and sunny one day and snowing the next. So that's not really a good judge anymore. I'm a jokester. I think I'm freaking funny. But anyway, the personal seasons of life. So the season of winter reflects sadness, heartbreak, loneliness, sickness. And I want to add in that everything ebbs and flows, right? You may not be going through literal whole season, months of this, of sickness or the loneliness or whatever. And it can kind of change direction, but it is cyclical. There is cycles, seasons to what we go through, what we grow through. And so I think these seasons are a really good reflection of that. The next one after winter is spring, and this is hope, new beginnings, new opportunities. And the third is summer, a sign of growth, need for protection, and comes with an abundance of distractions. And 4 is the season of fall. This is success, achievements, and failure. If you didn't prepare through the last 3 seasons, you're not going to see the success that you're hoping for. So before I hop into it, I want to say that along with filming this on the couch, I also did it a bit differently where I have very sparse notes for this, a really thin script, just a few sentences in each category, and it's because that was part of me putting too much pressure on it. I was writing these crazy scripts, and while I love it, and I do go about it very authentically, of like just speaking out loud and saying, what do I want to say to you? And I want it to be super concise so that way they stay short and info packed. I realized that that might not be the best way for me. So I'm going to try it out this way. And after I was done writing my few sentences of each one and kind of wrapping this short script up, I checked my phone and it was 3:33. And seeing this is a sign from the angels that something you've been lacking in or neglecting, it's like a call to action to get back on track with it. And honestly, that's the podcast. I mean, I didn't like neglect it for too long, but I definitely was overanalyzing things for like a couple of weeks. And yeah, so here I am, showing up messy and hoping that I can just give some value and inspo and motivation to you today. So, first one we're going to talk about is winter. This is the best time to prepare. This is the time to plant seeds. So, figure out what you want. What is the end goal in a few months, in 6 months, in a year? What is this? What is the next big project that you're going for? What is something that you're craving out of life that you want to change? And start planting seeds to get you there. So when I think of the seeds, it's like little steps that you need to take. So you need to work your way backwards. What's that big goal? What are the milestones that go into it? And then from there, what are just a few daily action steps that can help you get there? And then work these into your schedule, and eventually we can make them habits. It's also super important that we give ourselves grace during these times of building habits because it's not going to come like instant. It's not going to be easy. Building habits are hard, but some things that can help you are like habit stacking. So if you have a couple things that you usually do in the morning, like you get up, you make your bed, you brush your teeth. Those 2 things you do without fail every morning, and you're trying to create a new habit, stick something in the middle of that. So you make your bed, do the new habit, then you brush your teeth. Habit stacking is a really easy way to start incorporating something new into your routine and to make a habit. And so, yeah, winter is planting seeds. We need to focus on these little daily actions that are going to add up to the big steps. And, like I said, winter can be loneliness, it can be sickness, it can be heartbreak, a time for reflection. And it's really important that you're just focusing on the little things every day because that's going to add up. Don't overwhelm yourself with the big picture and know that this is only a season. It's going to get better. This is not permanent. Okay? The next one is spring. This is the time to take action and seize new opportunities. So, going along with my plant analogy, you're watering the seeds now. You're really nailing in these habits. You're starting to see them build up to those milestones. Maybe you're hitting one in the spring. And we need to just keep taking action and take messy action. Don't get caught up in paralysis by analysis. It's going to start to happen. I feel like it's just inevitable that we overanalyze things, especially new things that you've never done before. But, messy action is so much better than no action, and you will figure it out through that messy action. It's just like when I started showing up on social media. I was so scared. I was so shy. Didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to make things look aesthetic or the way that they do now when you see my page or my stories or even the way that I speak. I sounded just terrible, terrified, terrible, super cringy looking back at things. But the only way that I got to where I am now, that I built up the eye for aesthetic that I have now, that I am able to create things so fast and use tools like Canva or whatever to make videos. Like, I only got there because I did messy action every single day, because I showed up scared and shy and I just worked my way through it, and I built those skills that I needed. I built the confidence that I was craving through that messy action. So just go for it and be super aware of your thoughts and feelings. If you feel yourself starting to question everything and need to build a specific plan and get all of your ducks in a row before you actually take that step, you're there. You're in paralysis by analysis. You're paralyzing yourself right now. So cut it out, take a step, and just go forward. Flow through it. It's messy. It's going to be scary as hell. But this is what's going to help you grow. This is what's going to help you start to blossom, start to see those little plants sprout out. The last thing I want to talk about with spring too is microwave generation. If you follow me on TikTok, you have heard me talk about this before. I feel like we're in the microwave generation. If you want something, you can have it at your doorstep in 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, overnight, if it's something crazy, right? We can have anything we want instantly. And like, same thing for posting on social media. Like, you can get sales instantly, you can get likes instantly. You post a photo and your best friend comments on it, talks about how cute you look. Everything is instant. And we kind of bleed that into other areas of our life, thinking that everything should be so quick and fast, but it's not the case. Good things still take time to build. And you're needing time to grow yourself during these transitional moments. You're going for different goals. You're building a business. Maybe you're leaving your job and trying to start something else. I don't know what it is. But it's going to take time. And I need you to know that. It's not going to be instant. The social media I'm building right now for the podcast, it's moving pretty slow, honestly. The first 3 reels that I put out did pretty well, and I was happy with that. But then after that, they've literally tanked. And now I'm just trying to move in any way possible and kind of test things out. I'm doing A/B testing, which I just started today with reels, and really figuring out like what's going on, how can I help this grow, and doing my best not to get frustrated in the process, because it's not an overnight thing. And I know that I can grow to the point where I want to, but I just need to keep focusing on helping people every single day, on what the goal is of coming here and doing this in the first place, and just keep moving forward and know that it will come, and you need to focus on that too. The 3rd season is summer, so this is when the path starts to look more clear. Now we need to help our little plants grow tall. So you're starting to see little baby plants, and we need to figure out, how do we help them grow into this picture that we see in our heads. So I'm just going to keep rolling with the plant analogy, and it's like when, plants need different care for different kinds. And so whatever vision you're starting to see, this is when we start getting that individualized approach to things. So maybe your plant needs a guide wire, needs something to help it go up. Maybe another person's plant needs wiping off the leaves every single day, needs dusting off, needs little spritz of water, needs more sunlight than others. So you're starting to figure out what you really want, what the clear picture is. The messy action is turned into more clarity, because we've been doing this for a little bit now. We've been doing this for a couple seasons, and we're like, all right, I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting to see what I really want, where I can really take this, and now I'm running with it. But at the same time, you're just seeing your plant. You're like, oh my gosh, I planted the seeds, I watered the seeds, and here it is, my little baby plant. And some people will take this time and just sit back and chill, because it's there. It's right in front of me. I can see the plant. But this is not the time. You don't want to settle down. You don't want to slow down and take your foot off the gas. You really need to keep focusing on the growth, because like I said, you're guiding this in the specific way that you want it to be. And summer, like I mentioned in the beginning, comes with an abundance of distractions. all things are happening. There's so many fun things that you can get caught up in, but we need to not give in to the small, quick pleasures and instead focus on the milestone ahead, focus on those daily steps and how we can keep growing through this and really nurturing what we've grown and making it even better than it was the day before, the day before, the day before. And I want to talk a little bit about how, like, it's okay to be at flow and at ease with what you're doing. It's okay if your work feels easy and feels flowy. That's a good thing. To me, that's a sign that, like, I'm on the right path. I don't need to stress myself out. I like what I'm doing. I like where I'm focusing my energy, and it feels good. Just like recording this podcast for you right now. It feels good. I hope I'm helping you with what I'm saying. I hope that these freaking plant analogies make sense. But all that really matters is that I feel good about it. I feel at ease with it. I feel flowy with it. And that's a good thing. And it's totally different from feeling comfortable and letting your foot off the gas. You know, I have 3 episodes out right now. So I could just kind of like chill for a little bit longer because I bulk put those out and people have, episodes to catch up on. But I don't want to let my foot off the gas. I want to keep going. I want to have 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 episodes. I want people to be like, oh my god, I gotta catch up. Like, I gotta binge these again. And that's just what I mean is like, don't get too comfortable. Focus on, maybe having some little sacrifices to lead you to your big rewards. Keep nurturing those plants and keep guiding them in the way that you want them to grow. The next one we're going to talk about last season is fall. This is the moment of truth. So either you put in the right action and you kept going and you didn't let analysis by paralysis get you, you didn't let the distractions of summer get you, and you're now seeing your rewards, or you're not. In which case, you probably feel confused, you probably feel frustrated, and that's normal. But let's be real with ourselves for a second. Like, if you're feeling that way and you're not seeing what you wanted, you didn't really get results, then you probably didn't put in all the work, You probably did get a little paralyzed. You probably did let your foot off the gas. You got comfortable. You settled in. You gave in to those distractions. Like, let's be real. This is super important. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it's all a cycle. You're going to get your chance to keep watering your seeds and growing and move in the direction you want and nurture those plants. But we have to be real with ourselves. Super important that in every season you're reflecting and you're deciding, did I put in the energy that was necessary to get me to where I want to be? Am I getting clear on what I want? Am I like deciding and really looking deep into things and figuring out like, did this work? Did it not work? Just like I said, I'm A/B testing things. Like, I'm figuring out what's working and what's not. And so I can move forward in that clear path and the path that's working for me. And they're all different. So there's no clear cookie cutter answer I can give you to your problems, but you can by reflection. So just whatever your moment of truth shows you in this fall season, don't beat yourself up for it. There's always an opportunity for growth. I want to add here that fear of failure is something huge that can hold people back, and it's something that held me back personally for a long time in my life. I realized that I would go after things that I knew were attainable, and I would even like plan things in secret sometimes. Like, I would do work behind the scenes so it looked like easier when I actually like showed it to the world. And if you know, you know. But yeah, I wasn't taking too many risks. And when I started to, it scared the shit out of me. And I failed a lot. I fell on my butt a lot. But I grew so much more in those moments than in the over prepped, overhyped, moments that I thought were big wins. And I mean, not to discredit myself, like I've had a lot of wins, but I learned so much more from the failures and the messy action. And what I learned overall is that like there's nothing to be afraid of. Fear is not failure is not something to be feared. It's something to strive for actually. Because that's where you learn. Those are the lessons that lead you to the big picture, to the end goal. And without those, like there's no growth and you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're going to be living this average mundane life. You're going to be stuck in those low vibe states. You're going to be feeling the same winters over and over and over again and wondering every fall why it didn't work out. And no one wants that. So take the messy action. Plant your seeds, water your seeds, guide those little babies, and know that it's all coming. It's all for that greater purpose, that greater vision that you have in your head. And if you just put in that daily action, you will get there. You are so worthy of your dreams and goals. It's not even funny. I believe it, and you can borrow some of my belief in you if you need it. We cannot blame the circumstances, our failures on other people. We cannot change the seasons, but we can change ourselves, and we can control our actions, even though we can't control the seasons. I hope you gained something from listening today, and I hope that I see you again for episode 5. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
P.S. If you're craving a shift but just don't know how to get there, I can and want to help you navigate that. 3 years ago, I took the leap from burnt out baker, thinking that was my forever career for years, to empowered business owner working on her time for a purpose. It was scary as hell, not gonna lie, but so rewarding to make the switch and follow my heart. For a while, I had felt the pull to leap again, and so I did. I have spent months curating this 12-week program to help you gain the confidence and tools you need to feel empowered to build your dream life. The doors are open, and I am now booking discovery calls for May coaching spots. If you're ready for the next chapter, head to my Instagram and DM me the word coach. And if you let me know that you came from the podcast, I'm going to give the first 3 podcast listeners who sign up for coaching 20% off of the 12-week program. I'll reach out with some times and we can set up a call to chat and make sure that I'm the right coach for you. So excited. I'll talk to you soon.